So, let's ask a really fundamental question about the way we work. Is your department an assembly line, or is it an orchestra? So many organizations are run like a factory, right? Everything's planned, it's all standardized, it's all controlled. But when you're delivering services, does that model really work, or is it just creating a bunch of noise instead of actual harmony?
And this is the paradox we all feel. We're throwing billions of dollars at this, we're sitting in endless meetings trying to become more service-oriented, and what's the result? Frustrated customers and completely burned out providers. It feels like we're just spinning our wheels, working harder and harder, but getting nowhere.
Well, what if the problem isn't our effort? What if the problem is that we're looking at it all wrong? This whole explainer is based on this idea of Service-Orchestration, and it argues that we have a fundamental misunderstanding of what a service actually is. It's like we're using a map of a factory to try and navigate the world of services, and, well, we're completely lost. Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to start by tearing down the first and maybe the biggest myth that keeps us trapped in that old assembly line thinking. And this is an idea that is so deeply buried in how we measure success, especially in the world of IT.
This number, 5 nines, we are absolutely obsessed with it. It's the holy grail of uptime, and the belief behind it is super simple. If the system is on, then the service is available. But what if that's just flat out wrong?
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. That's a pretty radical statement. It basically challenges decades of management practice. The argument here is that just measuring whether our tools are turned on is a dangerous illusion that makes us look away from what actually matters.
And here's why. A service isn't a thing. You can't put it on a shelf. It's an event. It's intangible. It's fleeting. It literally does not exist until the exact moment a customer asks for it. You can't stock a service or have it available and just waiting around.
And this example just nails it. We spend all our time managing the availability of our resources, the oven that's turned on, the server that's running. But the actual service is the outcome. It's the successfully baked cake. It's the completed bank transfer. Come on, just because the oven is on doesn't mean you're guaranteed a good cake, right? So this means we have to completely change the question we ask. We need to stop asking, is the system on, and start asking, hey, did that customer's request get fulfilled successfully right then and there? Success isn't about potential uptime, it's about the successful outcome of every single unique transaction.
Okay, so that leads us right into the next big myth. If we're not really managing availability, then what exactly are we doing? You know, the very language we use every day kind of gives the game away. We're constantly using factory language. We talk about production. But there's a much better word for what we actually do in the service world, and it's called servuction. See, production is about making new stuff from raw materials that you own. Servuction, that's about changing something that the customer already owns.
Let's make it super simple. A car factory? That's production. They take steel and parts that they own and they build a new car. But a mechanic's garage? That's servuction. They take your car, something you already own, and they change its state from broken to fixed. The ownership never, ever changes hands.
And this idea is so critical. When you try to manage servuction using the metrics from production, like how many units you pushed out, it just doesn't work. It's like trying to measure the beauty of a painting with a bathroom scale. You're using the wrong tool, and it will always lead you to the wrong conclusions. All right, this brings us to the most important person in this entire story, the one character who we've been getting wrong for decades. We have got to stop saying end user. I mean, just think about what that word implies. It's someone at the very end of an assembly line, just passively waiting to get whatever comes out. The reality couldn't be more different. They are the active service consumer. They're the one who kicks the whole thing off. This reframes everything. The customer isn't some problem we have to deal with. They are the hero of the story. They are the trigger that starts the action. They're the source of all the value. And crucially, they are the one who brings the service object to the table. Whether that's their car that needs fixing, their bank account that needs a transfer, or their data that needs processing. And just like that, we have a perfectly clear, totally objective way to measure success. Forget uptime. Forget ticket counts. The only question that matters is, did we correctly change the thing that consumer brought to us exactly the way they asked? It's a simple yes or no. It's that powerful. So, if we get rid of all these old myths, if we're not a factory churning out products for passive users, then what are we? Well, let's build the new model. It's much more accurate and, frankly, a lot more exciting. We're a service orchestra. Think about it.
In this model, the service provider isn't some factory foreman barking orders. They're a conductor. Their job is to orchestrate all the different musicians, the teams, the computer systems, the partners, and make sure they all play their part together in harmony. And they're all guided by the score, which is just the predefined service concept.
And the service consumer? They're the audience. When they make a request, it's like they're taking their seat in the concert hall, kicking off a unique live performance created just for them. The service transaction is the concert. And objective success is simple. Did the orchestra play all the right notes? The delivery itself is either perfect or it's not.
And what's great about this model is that it completely embraces the messy reality of service delivery. It's not some steady, predictable assembly line. Demand goes up and down like crazy, and the orchestra has to be ready to perform perfectly in real time without missing a beat, whether there's one person in the audience or 1,000.
So once you make this shift, once you stop seeing your department as a factory and start seeing it as an orchestra, everything changes. It forces you to rethink what you do, how you work together, and most importantly, what you measure. The focus shifts from the humming of the machines to the success of the performance. So I'll leave you with this. If your department is an orchestra, what's the first assembly line metric you're going to get rid of?